let me welcome you to my channel. Before we begin the video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this post. Jimmy USO's mission to convince Roman Reigns to reconcile with Jey USO failed on WWE SmackDown this week. The OTC said no yeet to getting help from the new Intercontinental Champion against Solo Sikoa's bloodline. The recently returned Jimmy will have to go back to the drawing board. He could perform a U-turn and turn to undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes for backup. The American Nightmare teamed with Reigns in victory over Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at Bad Blood. For now, that appeared to be Rhodes' last endeavor in the Bloodline storyline. He has a Crown Jewel Championship match against Gunther at the next PL to focus on. However, Sikoa's tyrannical rule as Bloodline leader needs to end. Jimmy might have to reconsider his current stance toward the two-time Royal Rumble winner. Jimmy USO and Cody Rhodes crossed paths backstage on WWE SmackDown. The champ thanked his former rival for interfering in the tag match at Bad Blood. He was told it was a favor, but not to expect any more. That said, it might not be that long before Jimmy asks for a favor from Rhodes. The two-time Royal Rumble winner is wrapped up in several stories, including Kevin Owens' recent heel turn. If Roman Reigns continues to turn down a potential reunion with main event Jey, then Jimmy might have no choice. He appeared to be on amicable terms with the son of Dusty Rhodes when they spoke. Jimmy USO has made it pretty clear he feels that asking for help from Jey is necessary to stop the Bloodline 2.0 from continuing to run riot on WWE SmackDown. Roman Reigns seemingly isn't interested and will need some convincing. Jey fell out with the original Bloodline last year and feuded with his twin brother Jimmy leading into WrestleMania 41. He's currently on WWE Raw and flourishing as the Intercontinental Champion. That makes Jimmy's job in getting the original Bloodline back together much tougher. If he does decide to head to the Red brand and try to make amends with his brother, he might have another former stablemate to recruit. Sami Zayn is also on Monday nights, enduring a difficult period after losing his shot at Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. There isn't much left for the underdog from the underground to do, and he could consider realigning with Roman Reigns' stable. Cody Rhodes has valiantly battled against Sikoa's bloodline throughout this year. Along with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, he's been at war with the four-man faction. That trio imploded on WWE SmackDown after Cody turned on Rhodes in the parking lot at Bad Blood. The pair exchanged blows on Friday, only for Orton to pull them apart. Cody attacked RKO backstage shortly after a tense altercation in the ring. Their friendship is in tatters, and the prize fighter could be gunning for Rhodes' world title. That's why Jimmy USO's efforts to get Rhodes to join forces with himself and Roman Reigns may fail. The American Nightmare might have to deal with Owens once he's done with Gunther at Crown Jewel, November 2. There seems to be only one destination for settling the ongoing Bloodline saga, Survivor Series, November 30. The PLE will feature a War Games match, and it makes perfect sense to use this as the conclusion to the storyline. Question marks surround who would be on Roman Reigns' side, and speculation grows over The Rock. The final boss returned to Bad Blood, leading to talk of him secretly steering the Bloodline 2.0 ship. Reports claim Rock is set to miss WrestleMania 41, but there's no word on him skipping Survivor Series. Thus, the Brahma Bull could serve as the new tribal chief and lead a team of himself, Sikoa, Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. The ongoing saga between the members of the Wwe family has become one of the most captivating storylines in WWE history. From the dominance of Roman Reigns as the tribal chief to the emotional journey of Jey and Jimmy USO, the intricacies of family loyalty, betrayal, and power have played out in epic fashion. The dynamic between the cousins has left fans glued to their screens, wondering what twists and turns will happen next. In the latest chapter of this gripping narrative, Roman Reigns rejected a possible reunion with Jey Uso after months of tension and conflict. This rejection not only shook the WWE Universe, but also left Jey's twin brother, Jimmy Uso, in a precarious position. Now, Jimmy must call in a major favor from a top WWE superstar to navigate this complicated situation, and the stakes have never been higher. The family is splintered, and a monumental showdown is brewing. But what led to this point? And who could Jimmy turn to for help in his time of need? Let's explore the backstory, the emotions driving the Usos, and the potential superstar who might come to Jimmy's aid as this drama unfolds. The story of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline has been one of WWE's most compelling arcs in recent memory. After returning to WWE in 2020, Reigns took on a new persona as the Tribal Chief, a heel version of himself that quickly established dominance. He aligned with his cousins, Jey and Jimmy Uso, forming the Bloodline, a faction that would dominate WWE's main event scene for years. At the heart of this storyline was the complex relationship between Roman and Jey. Jey Uso was the first who acknowledged Reigns as the family's head, but only after a brutal feud where Jey was forced to submit to his cousin's will. The emotional roller coaster of Jey's journey, torn between loyalty to family and his own pride, was some of WWE's best storytelling, earning universal praise. As the Bloodline grew stronger, Jimmy Uso, who was initially hesitant to acknowledge Roman as the Tribal Chief, eventually fell in line. The Usos went on to have a historic reign as the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, proving to be the backbone of the Bloodline. Together, the trio reigned supreme in WWE, but cracks in the family foundation began to show. The tension between Roman and Jey never truly dissipated. As Roman's arrogance and need for control grew, Jey's resentment simmered beneath the surface. The tensions eventually reached a boiling point when Jey could no longer stomach Roman's manipulative ways, leading to a split within the Bloodline. Jey finally stood up to Roman, declaring that he wanted out of the Bloodline, thus setting the stage for a dramatic feud. After months of feuding and betrayal, Jey Uso found himself at a crossroads. Though he had fought valiantly against Roman's oppressive leadership, a part of him still desired a resolution. Deep down, Jey likely hoped that Roman, as family, would come around and see things from his perspective. Perhaps in an ideal world, they could reunite as brothers, cousins, and family members who had each other's backs. But Roman Reigns had other plans. In a dramatic turn of events, Roman rejected Jey's olive branch, declaring that he had no interest in rekindling their alliance. The Tribal Chief's refusal wasn't just a personal slight, it was a declaration that Jey was no longer part of the family's inner circle. In Roman's eyes, Jey had become a threat, a challenge to his authority as the undisputed leader of the Bloodline. The rejection left Jey devastated. While he had hoped to stand on his own 2 feet, away from Roman's shadow, he still harbored a desire for family unity. Now, with Roman casting him aside, Jey was left to fend for himself, alienated from the Bloodline. But the fallout from Roman's decision didn't just impact Jey, it affected Jimmy Uso as well. Jimmy found himself caught in the middle of this family drama, torn between his loyalty to his twin brother and his role within the Bloodline. Jimmy's world was crumbling, and with Roman's decision hanging over him, he knew that he had to act fast if he wanted to prevent the total disintegration of his family. With Roman Reigns rejecting any chance of reconciling with Jey, Jimmy Uso has found himself in an unenviable position. As Jey's twin brother, Jimmy has always been his biggest supporter. But now, with the Bloodline fractured and Jey on the outside looking in, Jimmy is forced to make a difficult decision: stay loyal to Roman and the Bloodline, or risk everything to help his brother. In the aftermath of Roman's rejection, Jimmy knows that he cannot confront Roman alone. The Tribal Chief's power is absolute, and anyone who opposes him risks being exiled from the family for good. If Jimmy is going to help Jey, he needs backup, someone with enough clout and influence to stand up to Roman. This is where Jimmy must call in a favor from a top WWE superstar. But who could that be?